You're listening to the Modern Healthcare Back Office, a podcast dedicated to solving the billing issues and gridlock facing the healthcare industry, presented by ProChamp, hosted by Chuck Ellis and Rachel Schools.
Hey there, folks. Chuck here, and welcome to another edition of the Modern Healthcare Back Office. I am joined, as always, by my amazing co-host, Ms. Rachel Schools. How are you today?
I am amazing, Chuck. How are you?
I am also amazing. It is all amazing, and it has been an amazing year, both in a good way and in the other way. We've had a lot happen. A lot has changed in 2022, especially in the world of Infusion, and that's why we've got on our resident Infusion back office expert, Miss Tina Ratliff. How are you doing today, Tina?
Great. How are you, Chuck?
I am fantastic. So Tina, the theme of this episode is 2022 is in the books, and we're going to talk about some resolutions for 2023. But before we do that, let's kind of take a look back and talk about what have you experienced in 2022 that really kind of changed the way infusion billing is done. What are some of the things that you've picked up on?
Well, I mean, one of the big things is that we found out from Medicare that we're not going to have diffs anymore after the end of the year. So I think that
That's
might have been
true.
the best thing that's happened to me, sadly, this year in infusion.
Hey, anything that makes your job easier, that's a welcome thing in this day and age with the way things are changing. So
Yeah.
with that, there's some changes that people should be looking to make in 2023 to make their jobs easier as well. So I think that's what we're gonna start with is like, what are the New Year's resolutions? If you were one of our listeners who's working in Infusion back office, what resolutions would you set for yourself? So let's start with one of those.
Yeah. So for me personally, Chuck,
Mhm.
we're really putting a big push on training. So especially when you start growing, you don't want have those people that are kind of hidden that kind of fall behind.
Sure.
So we're really trying to focus on that. So that's my resolution is we're also developing a lot of things with our internal training that people can have access at their fingertips. So that's my big focus for end of year is I have some things that I want to get done with.
Training is key. What are some ways that other back office folks in Infusion should look to improve their processes in 2023? What are you seeing ahead that people need to be paying attention to?
So one of the things I see a lot is a lot of times people will see that, hey, there's probably an easier way to do this function. It could be any function that we're doing, but man, if we change that, it's going to be an overhaul to do it. People are going to have to do their jobs in a different way. We're going to have to do things differently. And I think that scares us sometimes, especially because you're busy from day to day and we like the wheel to keep turning. So we don't like to do anything we think might cause that to slow. So I think one of the things that we really want to try to strive for is maybe working towards that throughout the year, slowly implementing pieces, maybe a piece at a time instead of all at once, and then have a goal for your end of year that, okay, everybody's going to be doing this way. By the end of the year, we did a dry run of it to try it out to see if we need to tweak it. One of the things my boss says a lot is you can always refold the paper airplane if it doesn't fly right? So it's a good time throughout the year to kind of do that if need be and try out your new process. So I would say processes is probably a good one because end of year is the beginning of a new year is a great time to start fresh.
Yeah, absolutely. Rachel, how about you? What are some bits of advice that you could have for somebody in Infusion back offices that's looking to improve their 2023?
Very much sort of with Tina on that. It's kind of like I've never dreaded a month end or a year end close because I just make sure that I'm incorporating whatever those practices are into my day-to-day life, right? So if I could offer anything, I would say it is get on top of the things that we know that need to be done, get on top of the improvements that we know that we need to make, and then start working on those every single day so that there is no surprises at any month end or year end or anything like that.
Well said. So very cool. Well, those are some great things to keep in mind.
One of the things I was thinking about, Chuck, and this is not so much a resolution as something we need everybody to be on the lookout for year end, right? So it's that time of year where we all are going to like open enrollment meetings and things are all changing, and we know it's that time
Hmm.
of year. People are going to be changing policies, they're going to be changing plans. Tina, what does that mean for us?
Yeah, and unfortunately, we can't trust that the patients will call and tell us. Can't depend on that because I think sometimes they think that we'll just know
Hmm.
somehow. Um, but yeah, so making sure that all of your benefits are verified at the end of the year. There's some really great tools out there too to help you do that without having staff like in the office, just all hands on deck trying to verify all your patients' benefits. I know that some of the clearinghouses offer batch benefit verification where you could either run a report in your system, pull the data elements they need. Some of them are just connected to your system and you can just send it, but it will verify benefits of a whole list of active patients at one time. So that's really nice. That's a great tool. It's going to save you a lot of manpower. I'm sure that there are some other tools that you might be able to find out there as well to help you with that.
Absolutely. Well, very cool. Well, those are some great things to keep in mind. Before we sign off and we bid 2022 a fond farewell, are there any big takeaways or personal lessons that you learned that you're going to be taking with you into 2023 besides focusing on training and or besides focusing on training?
I will say, Chuck, we had an article at the beginning of this year that Joey and I
Hmm.
sort of worked on together, and it had a little bit to do with like it was like some mix of like atomic habits and, new year, new mindset thing that we did.
Hmm.
And it has definitely paid off. So all of this new year, new mindset, 1% better every day. I think I'm going to continue and take that into 2023
Mm,
because it's been powerful. So that's all I'll say.
absolutely. Tina, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of I always try anytime a year passes, I know this is probably not the way to look at things, but I look at what did I do last year that I should have done better that I could do better this year. So maybe it's your AR, maybe it's something like that that you can really focus on, set goals for yourself as well as for
Hmm.
your employees. People love goals. I feel like they love to try to reach a goal. Yeah, I would say that's probably one of the things I do at the end of every year as well.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And again, I think that's a great thing. I love the 1% better resolution. That's everybody tries to do these big dramatic changes, but at the end of the day, it's easy to burn yourself out trying to be so much better too quickly and taking on too much. And I think that it's important for you to listen to your body, listen to your mind, and what is it? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, as the old expression goes.
Yes.
So find that step that you can take, and maybe it's as simple as subscribing to a show that helps educate you on ways to do your job a little better. And hey, we've got one of those. So again, thank you everyone who has subscribed so far. And if you haven't yet, we suggest you push that little button down there that says subscribe, and you'll get all sorts of wonderful information about running a healthcare back office sent to you just about every time we drop an episode, which are going at once a week right now. We're looking to bring it up to twice a week in 2023, and that's going to be our resolution. So be sure to stick around. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that little bell icon so you know when a new episode comes out. And finally, Tina, Rachel, if our listeners have any questions, where can they find you, follow you, all that good stuff?
Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn. That's probably the easiest way to reach me.
Very cool. And Rachel, where can they find you?
You can find me on LinkedIn. You can follow me on LinkedIn, Rachel Schools, or you can email me, rachels@prochant.com.
Love it. And of course, you can find me on LinkedIn, or if you are in a hurry, you can just type in chuckellis.com and it'll take you right to my LinkedIn page, because that's how I roll. And you can always find me on another episode of the Modern Healthcare Back Office. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Modern Healthcare Back Office, a presentation of ProChant, a wholly owned revenue cycle management service dedicated to serving HME, pharmacy, infusion, and other healthcare providers. Learn more about us at prochant.com.